take this a little bit back. What were you doing? Like, were you already creative in some way, or did
Yes.
these new tools like unlock something completely new in you?
Yes. So I was a nail technician for 20 years, and the creativity has always been there. And when the pandemic hit, I began to doing press-on nails, and I started shipping worldwide. So the name China Styles has already been a household name when it comes to beauty industry. Other than that, waiting out one day I was waiting on a client to come and get her nails done, and I was browsing on social media, and I came across a animated, not an animation, I'm sorry, a picture, an AI picture. And I was like, wait, what is this? And the picture was of a nail tech. It was a Disney princess sitting at a manicure table. And I'm like, hold on. So I did a deep dive on it. And once I did a deep dive, it just became something part of me. I was like, I can identify with this because it's a nail tech. So when I started doing it, I brought the nail techs to the forefront. Now, keep in mind, here in America, people want to be different and they want to follow a trend. So a few years ago, people were paying thousands of dollars for someone to illustrate an image of them as a logo. So when I started doing it, I didn't know that loving it and liking it would actually become a business, because I started doing animations and AI images for nail techs for logos. I was replacing the logos that they paid thousands of dollars for. So it just became something second nature. And I started doing it so much and reaching different nail techs from all over the world. One day, my husband was like, you made like $1,000 in 1 hour, selling AI images. So it just went from there. Creativity exploded, my mind exploded. And I just said, not only can I monetize on Facebook, but also off of Facebook.
Hmm.
So I started getting more and more followers by that. And it just opened my horizons, and I just never looked back. I even stopped doing nails because of AI. AI took me to a whole different place, monetary wise, that I don't ever want to go back. I don't ever want to go back to working, I work for myself, but I don't want to slave for 2 hours or 3 hours or maybe even four, and the amount of content that I can create within that time frame and
Yeah.
the amount of money that I'm gonna make within that time frame, So it for me, it just goes hand in hand. But I was a nail tech. I love doing nails, and I just reached a different audience when I just started something so small. It just got so big.
So, and how did it start that you got on Suno? And when you got on Suno, what did you make that first week? And when did you realize this might actually work?
Okay, so when it started out with animations. I did my first animation January 1st, and I actually prayed on it December 31st. I was like, Lord, this market is saturated with with all AI pictures. I needed something different. And assuming that me speaking it into existence and affirming it and manifesting it, the very next day I came across, again on social media, I came across the animation, and I was like, I got to go do a deep dive on this. So when I did it, it was Halo. Halo was the very first one. And I did something, and I took someone's voiceover from TikTok, and I made the animated character talk and move and everything. And Suno, I came about with Suno because I was browsing TikTok. I was new on TikTok, and Timbaland, a commercial from Suno featuring Timbaland on there. He was like, yeah, you can go on here. Who knew that I could go on here and put some words in there, and the woman will come out and she knew exactly where to place the words and this. So I'm listening and I'm like, let me Google this. So I Googled it, and the moment it came up, I just clicked on it and I followed verbatimly. Of course, I use ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT, what is it? ChatGPT gave me a complete breakdown. And I'm a researcher, I'm a reader. So I kept going. I didn't deep dive. I didn't search the market for other ones. I said, if Timberland was on here and he's doing this and putting them out there, it has to be something good about it. So I just followed that portion. April, Good Friday, April 20th, April 18th of 2025 was when I decided that I was going to release 5 albums. But prior to releasing and distributing, legitimately or whatever, I was just playing around. I was just playing around with Suno and I was just putting it on TikTok. And one video song went viral. And I was like, hold on now. They're asking me, where is it? Where is it? Now, keep in mind, I'm not knowing what they're asking for. Why is it not on Apple Music? So I had to research how to put my music on
Hmm.
Apple Music, how to do this and how to do that. So that opened up another can of worms. So it was like, okay. So I just landed across one record distributor. I think it was called Record Union, and they were charging like almost $100 for every time you upload a song.
Damn.
So I said, oh no, I got to find something different.
Hell no.
DistroKid came across. And I was like, okay. So it's unlimited one-time payment. And I just started flooding the market. I just started flooding the market. And it got me not knowing that 1 minute I'm doing this, the next minute I'm doing this. So for me, I just put it all across that I'm doing it, it goes all hand in hand for me.
Right.
When tapping into Suno, I needed to bring the visuals to match the song. So
And I
it
mean,
progressed.
you hit at least 22 million independent streams, and you've got at some point you wrote 900K monthly listeners before signing. That's before signing with Hallwood. Was there like a specific moment where you looked at the numbers and thought, "Holy shit, this is actually happening"?
Yes. 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 When it really hit me is when I got that check before Hallwood. When I actually seen that this was real money, it's
Yeah.
not a facade, it's not fake, it's real money. Yes. I was like, okay, I'm not ever letting this go.
Absolutely. So when let's say when Hallwood Media came calling to you, walk me through how that conversation actually started. Did you reach out? Did they reach out to you, or were you like
Yes.
shopping? Okay.
No, they reached out to me. I had actually six different record labels reach out to me, including Sony, APG, I think it is.
Hmm.
It was Sony, APG, Hallwood, and it was three other companies. I can't really remember because it was just so much was going on
Right.
at one time. Timbaland also reached out to me. I have his personal cell phone number. We've been in contact with each other. He was the first artist to actually reach out to me and tell me that I had something good going on with the visuals and with the songs. So I was like, okay, I just manifested. I was like, that's who I want to work with. But he didn't come with any, contract or any numbers. The person who came with numbers and was actually delivering about their decision with wanting me was Hallwood.
Okay. And Danny Jacobson, right?
Yes.
Who's in
Danny
charge
J.
of? Okay.
He
Okay.
reached out to me and he plugged me in with Neil, which is his cousin, and we had a really good conversation. And he convinced me. He told me some things that other people weren't mentioning, and what he said to me was really like where he sees me within the next year. He gave me more confidence on that. So
Hmm.
with that being said, I was like, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and do it. And the conversation was, it wasn't any different than actually having a conversation with just a normal person talking about business. He's from his mouth, he says within this year, within the year, I see you doing hologram concerts and things of that nature. So that's where my vision was. I wanted to think outside of the box. So if it can be done and he can back me, let's do it.
Okay. So now that I guess you're a few months into the Hallwood Media record deal, what's actually like your like different day to day? Like, are they helping with playlist pitching, marketing strategy, connecting you like with like opportunities? What does the label support actually look like
Oh,
for at
I have an
Faceless?
entire I have an entire team. I'm sorry I cut you off. Go ahead.
That's fine. No, I was just gonna say, yeah. How does it look like for like a faceless AI artist in 2025 to work with a label?
I have an entire team backing me. They have to call me and let me know, hey, slow down a little bit, because I'm trying to push forward as much as I can. Like, I consistently told them, if you see that I have these numbers before you guys, I did it because I'm consistent with pushing out different things. So they're on board with all of that. I do have creative control. They're on board. They're just my distributors. I don't have a full fledged 100 to 360-degree deal. I don't have that. I just have a distribution deal. And the way, if this working with distribution, I could just imagine how it would be with a full-fledged deal. But right now, we're just, taking baby steps because they're new into the AI game just as well as I'm new into, music industry. I'm still keeping my artistry, which still I'm being able to post and put out new songs. I've always allowed my audience to determine what songs I'm going to distribute. I don't want to put music out there that nobody's going to listen to.
Right.
So I learned my lesson back in April when I did 5 different albums. Nobody knew what it was going on. But also we have to take into consideration that Suno updates their versions. So when they update, we are also having to update the voices on there. It is not just something that we have a consistency of. That's the only thing that it lacks with Suno because you want the latest. You want to sound popular, but at the same time, you also have to take consideration that I'm doing 500 songs each round that I'm on there.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to do an album, each album consists of probably like 500 to 600 songs because we have to get that pitch, that voice. We have to do everything else. So it's not as easy as it seems, but to be honest with you, this is this is the metaverse that everybody used to talk about back in a few years ago. This is the metaverse, and we're just adapting.
So before we dive a little deeper into creation, I have one more question concerning Hallwood. So Hallwood has built this interesting roster of AI artists. You, Xania Monet, Bleeding Verse are on there as well. I'm Oliver. What's the long-term play here that you can talk about? Are we looking at like AI artist tours, collaborations between the roster, or something completely different that AI, like that traditional labels aren't even thinking about yet?
Love that. That sounds amazing because we're all tapping into different genres and different audiences. So that would be fine. People are up for it with it. If the other AI artists are up for it, I'm all up for it. I'm an open book when it comes to that because if we're in it for money, that's more money. That's more money. If we're in it for exposure, that's more exposure. So it really goes hand in hand. Why wouldn't we? That's just like in reality when actual artists link up and they do different music. So I don't see it as any different. It's just that we're using a computer to help us get where we want to be.
Right. Absolutely. A
We
means
don't
to.
a lot of I see it like this, and this would probably be off track, but people are born with gifts, and some people are born with talent. I feel like my gift is getting on the computer and doing research because if you're blind to it, you don't do any research on AI and how to necessarily use it, then you're blind to it and you don't know how to use it.
Right.
Versus a person who's born knowing how to sing.
Mm-hmm.
You're born with a gift, but some people are born with, skills that they can get on a computer and do their research. Now we're utilizing the research that we did.
So before we dive into your Suno workflow and process, you chose to stay completely faceless from day one, right? Was there a specific moment when someone tried to convince you to reveal yourself, and what did you tell them?
Yes. I created an entire Facebook post about it. It's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
But my response was the car that you drive in, the house that you live in, or the credit card that you're using, you never not one time met the person who made that. What is it a concern about me revealing my face? You're here for entertainment, education, and empowerment. You're here for the content. You're not here to see who I am. And it's more of a personal thing too, because I grew up being bullied and ridiculed about my looks. I don't need the world to have an opinion about how I look.
I'm sorry.
So no, it's fine. But it's just that's my major reason.
Yeah.
Even when I was doing nails, I was never posting my face on there because again, you're here to see my content. You're not here to see what I look like.
You want the focus and the music to speak for itself.
Yes.
Okay, so walk me through your actual Suno workflow. When you're creating music, are you using the persona feature to keep your voice consistent? Are you using Suno Studio yet? And if so, no?
Suno Studio is relevantly new to me, but I utilize it to only, do my fades and take out or replace some verses that the voice isn't capturing. If it messes up, because everything has a flaw in it. So, excuse me, if it messes up and the words aren't captured correctly, I can always go in there and revert it and make sure that it's, coming out correctly how it is. I'm sorry, I don't know the terminology of the music lingo, but I know what it is, what I'm doing when I'm in front of it. But I listen to a song maybe on repeat about 10 times,
Hmm.
because you can listen to it the first and second time, but once you start, memorizing everything and how everything goes and the high notes and the low notes and things of that nature, you start to notice that, hey, I still manage to have to battle through picking one song out of, you want to go inside? Out of, again, hundreds of songs, out of
Hmm.
hundreds of songs. So I could sit here. No, I'm fine. I could sit here and I could share my screen with you and show you what I have on my Suno, how many times this song is being repeated. Because every time you click on create, they give you two options. Same lyrics, but guess what? You have different tempos, different beats, different elements, how it starts. And Suno is so smart because sometimes they will change the lyrics on you. Something that's supposed to be an intro will end up being the outro, and it sounds fantastic, but the middle part of the song is not, you're not feeling it. So you can go in there and utilize what it is that you have. I've tried dabbing with the studio. I get confused, so I leave it alone. But other than that, it's just like, okay, I'll just go to another song. But it's for me because I've mastered it to my expertise. I just go with the flow. It's not too
Right.
much where I have to do like a big, deep editing.
Hmm. So, and beyond Suno, is are there any other AI tools like for music production that you're using, or is Suno handling everything for you?
Okay, so the lyrics, and it may sound like a cliche or something like that, but keep in mind, Xania Monet and I are really good associates, and we're really good people, and we're really good friends. But her and I have a lot of similarities. So I was a nail tech for 20 years, and I went through a lot of bullying in my childhood and bringing up. So I literally have over I say about 50 different journals of all dialects from all of the times, because keep in mind that when you're young, you don't know how to really put the words together.
Yeah.
You don't. So I wrote down all of my feelings. I couldn't afford a therapist. I didn't know what a therapist was. So I wrote everything down. And
Hmm.
I take my notes that I have from 1995, 1998, and I'm like,
Wow.
let me try something. So I go and I get the words and I put it into ChatGPT. And I will ask ChatGPT, can you create lyrics for a song based off of this poem or these words? And keep in mind that I am not educated on structure when it comes to music. The moment that I put my feelings into ChatGPT and it gave me intro, verse, opening, this and that and this and that. I literally cried because I was like,
Hmm.
damn. And then when I copied it
Yeah.
and I put it into Suno and she gave me that sound, I literally cried because I
It's
promise you, I could show
therapeutic.
you. I could show you where Black Sheep turned gold. Never in a million years would have thought that that song would have touched so many people,
Love that for
because
you.
it's a pure feeling when you grow up being that. My entire family, I'm not trying to get a sidebar, but this is part of it. My entire family is your color, and I'm the only black one. So they treated me as such.
I'm sorry.
And when
No
I
one
made
deserves
that
that.
song and it went viral and people was like, "My God, you put the words that I was feeling into a song." That alone, my audience, that alone, Mr. Chris, was what pushed me forward, because I didn't know that I was helping myself, but actually helping other people.
That's
So,
that's the beauty of it. Yeah. So you call it
exactly.
diary confessions, right?
Yes, Confessions of a Diary. And that was my heartbreak. That was my heartbreak. I'm married. I've been married for over 20 years, but that was a part of my life that I went through a heartbreak. But it is all diary confessions. It's all diary confessions because I can't get on social media and cry like this
Hmm.
without being judged and people having so many opinions. Me vocally, I come off very strong because I cuss a lot. I cuss like a sailor because that's the anger that I have in me.
Yeah.
But my alter ego is the person that's behind. My alter ego is China Styles.
Hmm.
When I sit behind the table to do nails, I'm China Styles. I'm not Margaret. I'm China Styles. When I'm behind that computer to do my animations, I'm China Styles. So I have to tap into that that other person because reality, life be life, and reality fucks you up if you allow it to.
Yeah.
So that gives me more oomph to keep going because I see that other people are being touched by what I'm doing.
No, I get it. I mean, it's something that I can relate to. I've been a musician for over 20 years, and I also got bullied in school. So that it's always a feeling that when you have the means to use music as a tool, which is therapeutic for you, and it's a blessing in that regard as well, you can really work through your problems.
Hmm.
And I, I mean, I love that for you. That I've made a couple of posts the other day about just
I
that
saw
AI.
them.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. There's like wherever you look, Reddit, TikTok, etc. It's the same stories that it helps people express themselves. And if that's a good outlet, music therapy is real. You know,
Yeah.
music is a universal language. And so what's a feeling like? I know you've tapped into it already, but what's a feeling or experience if you've turned into a song that surprised you when people connected with it?
I have
Whatever you want to share,
five,
you know?
my top 5 songs that I created, and you can hear it for yourself because the words are literally what I've felt. And keep in mind that I wasn't bullied in school. I was bullied at home.
Mm,
I have 5 brothers. I'm the only girl and I'm the baby. And my own mother didn't come to my defense. So I grew up with basically no affection. But I utilized that because if you take a moment and you look at my nails when I was doing nails, I had a page that is called Press to Impress. Oh my God, I took all the pictures down. It was called Press to Impress. And you will see I took all of my artistic flow and put it into my nails. So I just transferred that into doing animations, AI images. Now with the music, it's just the icing on the cake, cherry on top. So Black Sheep turned goat. Don't tilt your crown from my mouth to his ears, and God don't play about me. And I'm just a nobody. Those are my top 5 songs because, and those have so much meaning to it because not having the love that a girl needs from her mother really, really, really put me, and don't get me wrong, that's as a child.
mm,
As an adult looking back and letting it allow me to, reflecting on what it is, it's like, damn. And then hearing Xania Monet, her song, How Was I Supposed to Know?
yeah.
That's more
Hit
icing
home.
on the cake.
Yeah.
So not having a two-parent household,
Yeah.
so that, you get your inspirations from some of those things too. But my songs actually, not, I did those songs before she came out, and she understood. We've talked on the phone many of times, and she understood where I was coming from, and she sees. So I told her when I first met her, she didn't know me from a can of paint. And I said, girl, you got gold on your hands. And I'm telling you right now, apply pressure. And in our community, apply pressure is, you know, keep doing what you're doing, but put that oomph into it. Don't, put your foot on the gas. Don't
Mm,
let up. And that's what
consistent.
she did.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Being consistent. Yeah. I love
exactly.
that you guys connected in real life. That's
Yes.
so cool to hear. Yeah. And
Yes, sir. Yes,
thank you for
sir.
being so vulnerable. I mean, I'm only a stranger on the internet, so I really appreciate that you're sharing that with me. You know.
Because this is the real me, it's not a facade. I'm
Yeah.
not an animated character. I'm not AI. I am a human being. And I appreciate it's my pleasure because some people don't understand. But I do teach. Everything that you see on my page, I teach people too. So it's not just about my music. It's about connecting with other people
Right.
who want financial freedom with AI. If you're a stay-at-home mom, and you have nothing to do while your children is school, I teach you how to make money just like I made money. So it's me connecting further than just making music. I love people. I love to make money without having to show my face. But I do show my face to my students who have invested in me. And I'm just trying to uplift everybody. I'm trying to do things with people who that wasn't done with me. You get what I'm saying? Trying to encourage them, empower them, educate them. Because if I don't do it, who gonna do it?
Exactly. Yeah. So you just said, so you're teaching people, and you're also teaching
Mhm.
people how to use Suno for music creation. What's one thing that you see beginners doing wrong that kind of kills their music before it even has a chance?
Many things. No, but okay, they're so adamant about thinking that they know what they're doing.
Hmm.
They think that the moment they post a song, they're supposed to go viral. And I think their biggest mistake is expectations. And when it comes to certain people, they overthink. I have to repeat myself like I'm a broken record. Do not overthink this, because when you're in this, and keep in mind, I took this from being in the beauty industry. When someone is sitting in a chair to get a haircut, manicured, or makeup, you're going to an artist. An artist is to sit back and let them do what they do, right? And when you walk out of that salon, you are a walking billboard for that artist. So you have to reflect in yourself as an artist as well when you behind the scenes doing AI, whether if it's music or animations. It is not for you to like, it is for your audience to fall in love with. Your audience is the ones that's going to determine if it's going to go viral or not you. Because if you overthink it, you're going to doubt it. And if you doubt it, you're not going to post it. So I have to repeat myself like that all day. But it's cool because I still tell people, take your time. Don't overthink it, and don't expect to be a one hit, like an overnight sensation.
Right.
Now, it may come, but you have to allow it to happen. And in order for it to happen, you have to post it.
Right. That's the barrier that you got to jump. That's true. Very, very true. So I noticed, like, when I was on my Spotify profile, and I think you already said it. I noticed Margaret Bynum listed as a composer and lyricist. So that is you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanna get into something. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. You've probably seen
Hmm.
artists like Kalani go
Hmm.
after AI artists, musicians publicly. What goes through your head when you see that kind of criticism?
When I see that kind of criticism, honestly, my honest opinion is this. If that's the case, why are you using a computer? If that's the case, why don't you have instruments being played in front of you organically and not relying on a keyboard, not relying on what is that, synthesizers, not relying on certain things. And to be honest, being realistic, we're in 2025. Who's to say that the ghostwriters that they're using aren't using ChatGPT?
Right. It's matter of fact, there's so many case studies and surveys that are being run, and a high percentage of musicians are already using AI to make money, to, like, for, syncing, getting music like in videos and movies even, etc. So
Mhm.
it is out there, and whoever gets to jump on it and see what it can do for them. I mean, in the same way, we've had samples for a long time that have been used. Songs like, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, those are 3 samples, just that someone, took off Splice, like a marketplace for samples.
Mhm.
So music has been created electronically for a long time.
I'm listening.
Yeah, and then this is a different beast, definitely, because generative AI is reproducing something, and it's going through the content that has been created in the last,
Mhm.
100 years, etc. So it is different, definitely, but we should still just view it as a tool and an enhancement of ourselves to get to our end goal, which is, connecting with an audience, right?
Exactly. But honestly, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. My thing is, it's about adaptation. You have to adapt. Because if you think about it, when everybody was thinking about metaverse, we're living in a simulation type of stuff, and all of these different things about technology, and yet we're using technology at every given chance that we have. If you have a smart TV, that's AI. If you in a smart car, like these new cars, the Teslas, that's AI. So how are you against it when it's everywhere around you? Is it that we now, as a community, have found a way to make money easier? You don't see anybody stealing,
Yeah.
killing. or doing anything. They're at home, minding their business and trying to make a living off of it. It's not our fault that y'all had to go out there and do what you guys did to get where you're at. That is your struggle. That's not my struggle. You can't get mad at me because we've adapted
Right.
to what's in front of us.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the criticism is also, you know, towards the companies like Suno, etc., that are training on copyrighted music, and they're not compensating the artists that trained the model. So I think a lot of the outcry from existing artists is, hey, you're taking my music and you're doing something new with it. So, but the thing is, you're getting the heat. And is that fair?
No, because honestly, if Beyonce would have did it first, what would she have said?
Mm,
Would it have been anybody on here talking junk if Beyonce would have did it first? No, they're not saying anybody about the AI robot she had on her stage. But it's something, it's always something when you see the little person trying to do something that the
right.
big people are doing. That's how I see it. You can't get mad because, again, if she would have done it and would have said, yeah, I use AI, oh, I bet you everybody would be hush, mum, not saying anything. Oh, because the queen has done it. You get what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
it won't be an issue. So because a person from Mississippi was the first to be recognized using AI technology, now it's an issue. That's crazy. Because again, if Kalani or whoever else would have done it first, it wouldn't have been an issue. So them it's a slap in the face because now we're getting recognized in such a public way when they had to fight tooth and nail for that public way.
Hmm.
That's crazy. You can't get mad at a person who's being innovative, who's breaking barriers, who's doing things out of the norm, thinking outside of the box. Don't get mad at her. Get mad at technology.
And I
You got
think,
to get mad at Suno. You got to get mad at the AI people, not
mhm.
us.
Yeah, and I mean, like stories like yours, and I'm very grateful that you've told your story. I think it's if we're talking about, people battling depression and, using AI to create music which is therapeutic for them, we have to listen. Like, we just talked about that story on Reddit of someone where he said AI music was saving my life. Like, in your circle also, have you heard other stories like that where they said, or the students that you have that you're teaching,
Yes.
yes, it helped me.
That's right. Okay. Sorry, I was dropping my husband off. Love
That's
you.
fine.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Dropping my husband off at the hospital.
Oh no, is he fine?
Yeah. Yeah, he suffered a massive heart attack
Oh, I'm so sorry.
at the age of 30. He's 41 now, but he still has complications through the heart attack,
Right.
through his heart attack, being that he suffered it at such a young age. So it's a lie. It's a lie, but it's fine. It's fine. It's life.
You pull through.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
Right.
I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, we talked about this being therapeutic. The students that you have, for instance, that you teach, are you getting any stories from them as well that it helped them?
Yes. So teaching students, and also I have messages in my inbox. And I'm not sure if you've seen my Facebook account, but I have over 600,000
Hmm.
followers on Facebook, and my inbox is flooded with stories and their testimonies. And honestly, it has saved my life too.
Yeah.
AI saved my life because I applied myself for it to save my life
Love that for you.
financially. Financially, it has saved my life. Mentally, physically, because without finances being correctly, your mind is everywhere. So
Yeah.
for me, it went hand in hand. I can only speak for myself and from my testimonies and from my experiences. But yes, I have a plethora of stories from my students and from my followers, my audience, that tell me that no matter if I'm AI, no matter what, it's the message, it's the lyrics, it's the song, it's the melody, it's certain different aspects of the song that captures
Hmm.
their attention. And that, again, that's what makes me, go forward.
Yeah.
But one lady that I use her as a prime example, 72 years old, she took my one-on-one course.
Hmm.
And she took my course. Let's see. I started doing one-on-one. So anyway, she accepted her last Social Security check. She depends on the government. She accepted her last check. I think it's either June or July. She's making so much money on TikTok, Facebook. Instagram, and YouTube, that she does not have to rely on the government anymore.
I love that.
And now she has financial freedom, financial literacy. So,
Mm.
and that's all thanks to me, because she's like, I don't know how to work a computer. I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that. And I made it so simple for her to do it that now she accepted her, her last welfare check. So that made me happy.
I was gonna say, how does that make you feel? I mean, that you've changed the perspective and the whole outlook of someone's life going forward.
I don't want the recognition, Chris. I just want to know. I just want to leave my mark.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, God's honest truth. I could pass away today, and the only thing that a person can say about me is that I have inspired them. I've helped them,
Yeah.
one way or the other. So I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
the
what it's about.
but it's about leaving a mark. If my kids were to grow up and say, what did my mama do? What kind of impact did she do? They'll know. They'll know. I've done things for free because I feel bad for people.
Yeah.
I've literally tried to help other people. I hurt myself sometimes. But other than honestly, it's like I just want people to come on my page and escape reality for a few moments, listen to the song, get the message, and then go back,
Yeah.
but a better person.
So some people say AI music has no soul. When you hear that, what's your honest reaction? Does it sting or do you just disagree?
I just disagree. I just disagree.
Why?
I don't even have an opinion about it,
Mm,
because if a person were to see themselves having to utilize AI at one form or the other, they're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. You was just talking so much junk about it, and now you're utilizing it. Don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me. But if they're all against it, they're all against it. It's like a doomsday person. The people who doomsday preppers who prepare for the apocalypse and things like
right.
that.
Yeah. Of course.
They have their mindset already on
Mm-hmm.
how the world is supposed to end, right? You can't say nothing different to them. You can't say anything to them. So they have that one track mind. And that's how I see some people when they start coming to tell me different things. Oh, this is AI. You're damaging the economy or the ecosystem and this and that, and trying to take it other ways. I'm like, but yet you're on an app. You can't sit there and talk junk to me, and yet you're using an app. So it's all about technology, and it's cool. But certain things, I just let it go in one ear and come out the other.
So you just talked about you do have kids. Have you showed them how to use Suno?
Well, I have twins. I have autistic twin daughters. They're 7, and they know that Margaret is China Styles. They sing my music. They love it. When they clean up when they clean up their room, I have a TV in their room. They turn their TV on and they put it on Spotify, and I hear my songs playing. That makes me feel good too, because at least I'm not knocking Megan Thee Stallion, but I'm not Megan Thee Stallion cussing every other word, and
Mm-hmm.
that a child in our community should be gyrating and moving their butt that way. No, I don't. I want my kids to grow up knowing what I have done is to impact you and your confidence, in a good way. I'm not trying to be Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not trying to be Beyonce. I want the money, but I don't want the fame.
Mm,
So, I'm just trying to sit back and enjoy what I have. That's why I want to remain faceless. I want to see my kids grow up. I want to be the one to tell my children what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and become women.
mm,
I don't want them to grow up with a nanny or relying on my mother or someone else. I brought y'all here. I want to take care of you. If I don't remain faceless, everywhere I go, aren't you China Styles? I don't want that
right.
attention,
Yeah.
because that's gonna have my children expecting, oh, mommy's a superstar, this and that. No.
So
I
have you had any people reach out? Because I mean, on the Spotify page, it does say your name. Have people actually figured it out?
no,
Okay.
Chris.
So
They've
just to make sure, because it is publicly available, should I refrain from using your name in any content then?
Go right ahead, Chris. Nobody knows who's Margaret Bynum. Nobody knows who's China Styles. They don't know what I look like. My close friends and family, yeah, that's it.
Okay, just want to make sure, yeah, that you're comfortable with it.
You're fine. You're fine. I know what comes with it, but this doesn't have to come with it.
Yeah.
And I made that very clear to Hallwood. That's why I told them, listen, I'd be happy to sign with y'all. Just don't put me in the public eye. I want the money, not the fame.
Mm,
I
yeah.
don't want to do that.
So in that
I'll be
regard, you are different to Xania. So Xania Monet, Talisha, she went public and had that interview. Did you listen to the interview? So what did you think about what she was sharing?
I loved it. I loved it.
Because you can relate, yeah.
I can relate with a lot of stuff. I
Yeah.
just feel like the things that I related with her that she said that it's hers, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm,
Happy for her.
mm,
I'm very happy for her. I'm ecstatic for her. I talk to her all the time. Not all the time, but we talk when we can.
yeah. No, she comes off as like a very, very sweet person. And she doesn't want any harm. She just sees it as a tool and to work through what she's been through in the same way that you do.
Yep, that's correct. That is correct.
But still, so that aside, is there any fear that you have about this whole AI music thing that you wouldn't talk about publicly? Is there anything?
My fear is that one day waking up and Suno ain't working no more.
Offline.
Everything else
Yeah.
I can handle. I have over 10,000 songs in my Suno account. And my fear is that they're saying that they're going to update and we won't be able to use
Yeah.
the old features. That's my fear. So I'm literally like, I had to go buy a gamer's computer with this NVIDIA storage just so I can download all 10,000 songs.
I was going to say, because like Udio, they when they made the partnership with, I think Universal they completely disabled the downloads that you couldn't get your songs, and they only had that 48-hour window. It didn't happen to Suno, but they already said that when the licensed model with Warner Music Artists goes live, that they will have also updates to their subscriptions, that you can only free downloads not available anymore, and you can only download that amount of songs from the platform.
That's going to be a complete ripoff of somebody. And I feel like somebody else is going to come up with a better Suno version, a replica of Suno. And that's going to skyrocket because I'm waiting for Suno to become public so I can invest. And guess what? Y'all going to sit there and mess it up because Hallwood just invested into Suno.
Yep.
They're one of the big leaders that
it.
invested into Suno. And I want to be behind them. So I want some money too.
Right.
But it's like, y'all making it hard for us. And I understand the regulations. I understand. But that comes with it. So now, again, I have to go to work and figure out how we're going to do this and do that and utilize Studio to mash up some of these songs. I've already figured out how to do duets on there, so I'm good on that part. But here they come. Like I said, every couple months they do updates.
So what's on the horizon for you? What's in the books for you in the future for China Styles? What are you working on right now?
A gospel album.
A gospel album.
Yes. I've noticed that my audience really, really engage with my gospel songs. So I'm trying to get this gospel album out, hopefully by Christmas. And then once I'm done with my deal with Hallwood, I want to go back independent.
Okay. So so the Hallwood deal is a limited contract.
It's a limited contract. It is 3 years, 3 or 5 years.
Right.
I gotta read.
Okay.
Either 3 or 5 years. But I've already given them all of their music. I only owe them 2 albums. I've already done 1 album, and I'm on the next one. So the music, and that's the thing. Like we need to probably adjust because AI artists, we can go in there at the tap of a button and give you 10 albums if you want them. It's not like an artist have to write them down and wait and compose and do this and do that. We don't have to do that. So that's where we might have to sit back down because I'm already, end of the bargain is already done.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, like I've been a musician for 20 years, and not even once, even when AI came about, I was never bitter once about it. And I know what the traditional way of creating songs and writing lyrics is, but I take it as it is. And of course, I would want artists to be compensated for training these models. That's something that I advocate for. But what it's helping people in their lives is to be seen at least as significant as that, the compensation. So that's what we have to talk about. And that's what we have to talk about more, I think. I love that you shared that today with me. I can't wait to introduce you to my community and hopefully bring you a few new people that are inspired by what you're doing and might even start making music because they've seen what you've been able to do with these tools. So yeah, I just appreciate you for giving me this interview today, and I just wish you all the best in the world.
Thank you.
You're honestly, like, just talking to you for 1 hour, you're a great person, really. I mean, and I'm rooting for you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and I am such a big fan of yours. You don't know.
Oh my God.
Before everything exploded a couple months ago, I've always came across your page, and I'm like, man, this man know his stuff.
Oh.
And I've always been a fan of yours, and it's my pleasure, and I'm in awe because I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity.
Oh my God, no, it's definitely the other way around. I was telling my girlfriend today, you do know that I'm talking to China Styles today, right?
Listen, I'm an emotional creature, okay? So best believe that everything that I do is not just for likes and giggles. I
I know,
I
I
have a
know.
passion for, what I do, and it's more of it became something bigger than what it was supposed to be.
Mm,
But once I got it, for me it's no looking back.
yeah.
No looking back. I literally allowed social media to make me a thousandaire. I'm not gonna say a millionaire. I'm a thousandaire. I was living in a trailer, Chris.
Mm,
We were living in a trailer. And within 1 month of me advertising that I'm showing you how to do what I'm doing, including with me making music, I was able to make $30,000 in 30 days. I was able to get that same $30,000 and go and put it on a down payment for a brand new house.
oh my God, I love that. What a story.
And now that's not nothing would do with music. That was just me teaching.
Of
The
course.
music, the music allowed me to pay that house off halfway. Okay.
Wow.
And it's financial freedom, making sure that my
Yeah.
children don't have to worry about things. I want to give them things that I was never blessed with, and not monetary, but monetary is that I don't care what nobody say. Money makes people happy because if you don't have any money, you're stressing about money to pay bills.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
utilizing it
100%.
to be financially free and to also make other people feel
Yep.
like it's the reason to live. You got people who are depressed, who go through so much. And because the right song at the right time made them feel a certain way, that they live in a minute longer. So I've had those tragic stories in my inbox. And that's the reason why I say what I say. And I make them feel a certain way. It's not about, the publicity. Publicity comes with it because everybody understands where you're coming from.
No, 100%. I mean, otherwise you would, you could even say, like I show my face, but you choose to stay private and just, have the music speak for itself, for people to connect to your lyrics and your story. So that's what your journey is about. Yeah, that's honestly crazy that you've been able to move out of your trailer and you now have a house, and your family must be ecstatic and so proud of you as well. Your husband, your kids. Love
Yes,
that.
I was able to purchase my mom a car, my nephew a car. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing stuff with my money that I feel like I'm doing my part. I blessed my dad with some money. I told him, here you go. You're my dad. I don't expect anything from you, but I just want to know that I did something good with mine. So I did, and it's just, that's the blessing.
This was great. I wish you a great day, and thanks for being on here today and sharing your story. I'm so excited to share it with everyone out there and just seeing that they come to your page, listen to your music, and hopefully take something from it, that it makes a difference in their life in the same way that it has made a difference to so many people already out there. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
No problem. I appreciate you. My pleasure. It was wonderful speaking with you and nice to meet you.